Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man walah wa ba'd. Brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode of the Maktab show. We had a break last week because of the anniversary, but we commenced alhamdulillah today. I'm going to go straight to the program for today, inshallah. So firstly, I'm going to introduce you to my studio students. So to my right, first of all, Brother Jabid Ali, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Okay, to my left is Siddiq Mu'azzam, assalamu alaikum. And Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Okay, so the two Siddiqs back once again. Okay, mashallah. So before this, we were practicing Surah Fatiha. So today what we'll do, inshallah, is hopefully we'll complete Surah Fatiha, but we'll practice all of it from beginning to end, and then focus a little bit on the remaining 2 or 3 verses at the end. And then after that, inshallah, we're going to practice in the second segment some of the huruf, some of the letters of the alphabet. I think we're on Sin and Za, the letters that are pronounced from that particular makhraj. So we need to practice that. I've mentioned to you before the importance of the makharij. The most important thing when it comes to reciting the Quran is pronouncing the letters from the right place. Everything else comes after that. Okay, so most of us think that, you know, if I do ghunna nice and long, if I do mad nice and long, then my tajweed is good. Absolutely wrong. Actually, it's if you pronounce every letter from the correct place, then your tajweed is good. And then everything else makes it sound better. That's it. But your makharij makes it sound correct. Yeah? The other bits are to do with beauty and adornment. Anyway, so we'll cover some of the makharij systematically, inshallah. We're hoping to get through all of the alphabets, and as usual in the final segment I will be taking your call so that you can recite to me and I can give you feedback on your recitation. Okay, so let's begin. You boys ready?
Yes.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, so Siddiq, do you remember what I said last time? When you say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim with the Ra, try not to move your lips too much. Okay, so the Ra is pronounced full-mouthed, okay, what we call mufakham in Arabic. Yeah, it's pronounced full-mouthed, but it's pronounced full-mouthed not with your lips, but from your tongue. Okay, and then your mouth is just naturally positioned, sort of like in an O shape, right? But that's just the natural positioning of your mouth. The pronunciation and the full-mouthed sound actually originates from your tongue and not from your lips. So you shouldn't go Ra, as in move your lips a lot, but Ra is from the tongue. It originates from the tongue. Yes. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Good. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Anyone remember what the important thing is in Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen? Yeah, go on.
In Alhamdu, you should not make a bounce.
Shouldn't bounce the which letter?
The lam.
Yes, good. So you don't say Alhamdu, you say Alhamdu. So Alhamdu, barbari khota khoisi Alhamdur lamo bari khaytun awaze. Okay? So Alhamdu bol Alhamdu. Alhamdu. Okay, one more time. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And it's the same in Rabbil Alameen. Same thing. Rabbil Alameen. Lam badi khaybuna, okay? Jabid? There's no bounce in the lam in Rabbil Alameen. So Alhamdu, Alhamdu. No sound coming back from the lam. So there's no bounce back. And in Rabbil Alameen, there's also no bounce back. Rabbil Alameen, that's a bounce. Okay, that's incorrect. Rabbil Alameen, not Rabbil Alameen. Clear?
Yes.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Okay, one more time. Completely wipe out the bounce, okay? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
MashaAllah, good. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim.
Ar-Rahmanir Rahim.
So Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, what do you have to do?
Make full mouth on the ra.
Full mouth on the ra, but without your lips.
No lip movement.
Okay? Very little lip movement, just movement from your tongue. It's the tongue that produces the full mouth sound, okay? Ar-Rahmanir Rahim.
Ar-Rahmanir Rahim.
Maliki Yawmiddin.
Maliki Yawmiddin.
Okay. On this verse, Maliki Yawmiddin, it's an easy verse. But the common mistake is yo. What do you have to say?
Yo.
Yo. Good. It's ya, not yo.
Yo.
It's not yo. It's
Yo.
ya. Yeah, Jabed?
Yeah.
So say Yawmiddin.
Yawmiddin.
Good. Not
Yo.
good. Don't say yo, say it's not yo.
Yo.
Yeah, as you say on the streets. Yeah, it's yo.
Yeah.
Yawmiddin. So everybody, yani Yawmiddin khoybana, Yawmiddin khoybana. Ya zobor ya, not ya zobor yo. It's not yo, it's ya. Okay. Maliki Yawmiddin.
Maliki Yawmiddin.
Maliki Yawmiddin.
Maliki Yawmiddin.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
Okay, on this verse, when you were calling in, brothers and sisters watching the show, when you were calling in to recite that verse to us, the most common mistake was the ayn. Na'budu. Na'budu. And if you can pronounce the ayn, you have to avoid bouncing it. So you don't say na, it's na with the ayn. Try your best to squeeze the ayn out. And you need to, if you think you can't do it, you need to practice it over and over again. And then same thing again, nasta'een, nasta'een. It has got to sound the way I've said it, so don't stretch anywhere except for in the relevant places. So iyyaka, so the stretch is in the ya, not in the ka. So you don't say iyyaka na'budu. There's no stretch there. You don't stretch the ta in nasta'een. So you don't say nasta'een. You say nasta'een. Okay? So the ayn zer is stretched. The kasra under the ayn is stretched. Right? And you have to pronounce the ayn clearly. One more time. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Okay, can you think of what the important bits are on this?
The should not be pronounced like the ha.
Very good. Anything else?
And the saad should be full mouth.
Yeah, that's hard though. Saad full mouth with a kasra, with a zer under it. Very difficult to do. Okay? So you try your best to make it sound like a saad, but with a kasra, si. So ihdina si. But the one you pointed out is more important. Ihdina with a small ha. So you should sound just your breath kind of just flows out. It's with your breath. Ihdina. Don't say ihdina, because it's not a ha. It's a ha. Okay. So ihdina sira, and then sira. Hard to do with the kasra, but the secret is it's not your lips but your tongue. So it's the way you position your tongue. Sira. So your tongue actually rises up to pronounce the saad. Sira, and it's not your lips. So you don't say, everyone look at me, don't say swi. Don't say swira. Right? It's better to just say sira as best you can. If you say swi, then what you've actually done is you've added a letter. Which letter have you added?
Wow.
Good. You've added a wow, because that lip movement, see that lip movement? That lip movement is how wow is pronounced. So what you've done is you've made a s sound, and then you've added a wow on top. Okay? And is there a wow here?
No.
No wow. So you've essentially made a major mistake by adding a letter. Okay? Where that letter doesn't exist. Alright, so essentially, if you're saying swira, then you're basically saying sad, wow, then ra alif. You've inserted a letter in there. Okay, so try your best not to move your lips with it, and without moving your lips, try to say the sad as best you can. Okay? So, ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Good. And you got to practice this. This is one of those things that you have to keep practicing. It'll get better with practice and time. If you don't practice, you're not going to get it right in this program. Okay. So remember, watch the YouTube videos. Okay. Go to YouTube. For now, you're going to have to access the videos through YouTube, because the videos aren't on the website. Okay. All the other resources are on the website www.maktabonline.com or .org. Sorry. maktabonline.org. Otherwise, and also in YouTube, you have to search it as the Maktab Show, or just Maktab Show, and you'll find it. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got to keep practicing, and that's how these little difficult things will get it corrected. Okay, let's carry on. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Good, it's good. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
The one last thing, don't say اهدنا. اهدنا الصراط. So what you're doing is you're making your mouth, you're positioning your mouth in preparation for the saad. But actually you're not meant to do that. Saad is when you get to it. Before that, the na isn't full mouthed. So it's ihdina, and then sirata is from the saad onwards. Don't try to prepare for the saad by saying ihdina. It's ihdina. Your mouth repositions into the saad from the saad, not from before the saad. Make sense? So the na in ihdina is light. It's ihdina, ihdina. If you just read that ihdina, it would be like that. Yeah? And then comes the saad. Okay? So it's ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Okay, you have to practice that. Alright? Okay, so up till here we've practiced before in previous shows. These bits are new bits, okay? The next verses. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
Okay, very important. So sira, same thing as what I said, explained before in ihdina sira. But here in an'amta, no bounce on the noon. Do you remember? Alhamdu Rabbil Alameen, no bounce. Ihdina, no bounce. In all of those places I said don't bounce it, right? Na'budu, no bounce. Same thing here. An'amta, there's no bounce on the noon. Right? So don't say ana'amta. This is very, very common. A lot of people. It's खूब बेशी बोलो है. أنعمت نون المدة أوازي بعد خيتنا. أنا عمت خيبنا. Okay, don't say أنا عمت, but أنعمت. Say
أنعمت.
Don't stretch it. Just أنعمت.
أنعمت.
Good. So صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
Okay, again. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
Good. No bounce whatsoever, alright? So that's the most important bit. Okay, a couple more times. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
Perfect. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
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 Okay, listen carefully. Ghain. Ghain is pronounced with a full mouth. Okay? You have to say gha. 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 Not gha. It's not gha, it's gha. Good. That's the first thing, right? Then ghayri. The ra isn't permanently full mouthed. Do you remember when we said Ar-Rahmanir Rahim? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Over there the ra was full mouthed, right? But the ra isn't permanently full mouthed. The ra is full mouthed depending on the haraka. So if the ra has a fatha or a zabar, if the ra has a zabar, then it will be full mouthed. If it has a pesh or a dhamma, then it will be full mouthed. But if it has a kasra or what we call a zair, then
It'll be empty mouth.
it'll be empty mouth. So over here you don't say ghayri, you say ghayri.
خيري.
That's it. Ghayri.
خيري.
No, but the ghain's full mouth.
غيري.
That's it. Good. So it's gha starts off full mouth. Gha, so full mouth ghain. Ghayri.
غيري.
Good. So you have to position your mouth one way first, and then at the end of the ya you have to position it so that it's empty mouthed. Yeah?
Yes.
Good. Huh? Ghayri.
غيري.
Don't say ghayri. Just ghayri.
غيري.
Very good. That's better. So, and then maghdu. So obviously when you say ma, it's empty mouth, right? But what's the ghain?
full mouth.
full mouth.
Right. So you have to say. Look very carefully at me. So magh. It's magh. When you get to the ghain, your mouth changes to the full mouth position. Maghdu. Maghdu. Maghdu.
مغدو.
No bounce.
مغدو.
Maghdu. So on ghain, the sound carries. It doesn't bounce. There's a difference. So for example, you don't say maghdu. Yeah? But for a split second, the sound will carry. So magh, it carries for a split second. But no bounce. Yeah? So maghdubi.
مغدوب.
مغضوب
مغدوب.
عليهم.
عليهم.
There's a ayn.
عليهم.
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 And then ولا الضالين, you say ولا, so la is empty mouthed, and then ض is full mouthed. So you go ولا, so it's empty mouthed up to the dad, and then from the dad it's full mouthed. So you stretch full mouthed. So ولا الضالين.
ولا الضالين.
Okay, do that again. So empty mouth up to the dad, then full mouth. Go on.
ولا الضالين.
That's good. Right. So the whole verse again. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Okay, Dad is one of the hardest letters of the alphabet.
Dad.
Yeah?
Dad.
You just have to try your best. This is something we'll practice when we get to that letter. Dad is pronounced from the side of your tongue. It's the side of your tongue against the gums of your upper teeth, premolars, the teeth at the back.
Okay.
So it's these teeth and the side of your tongue. Right? Very difficult to get the sound out. The idea is that the sound should come out from there. So you've got to pronounce it in such a way that you think in your mind, that in your assessment, that the sound of the letter is coming out from that place, the side of your tongue against the gums of your premolars. Alright? So that's the idea. So fisnor dat ar zifrar side. Mani o duyo zaga zokhan mile tokhon dad. So ita duila hano charan khara dai. Ani khekho duyo side re mile ya dadu charan kharain. That's the best way, but that's very difficult. Ita khub khotin. And alternative is for any one side, or either the right side or the left side to touch. Yeah? That's usually how most of us pronounce it. Okay? And that's okay. That's acceptable. Yeah? But some people can do it with both, but that's very rare. Yeah? So wala da, and then it's full mouth. Wala dallin.
ولا الضالين.
And you have to stretch it. It's very long. You got to stretch it nice and long. Okay? You understand?
Yes.
All right. Excellent. So we'll practice that a couple more times, and then we'll go on to the letters. Yeah. But for now, we'll go for a break, inshallah. Okay. So, brothers and sisters, we're back just after a short break, inshallah. Stay with us. We'll see you on the other side. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome to today's Maktab show. Welcome back after the break. My name is Tuha, and I have with me Brother Jabid, right? I'm really bad at remembering names. Jabid, Siddiq Muazzam, and Abu Bakr Siddiq. Yeah, the two Siddiqs. All right, brilliant. Inshallah, so let's carry on. We actually have one more segment left, so we're going to practice the last two verses for another minute or two. And then we'll move on to the letters, inshallah. And then in between that, we'll also open up for calls, and you can call in. Okay, inshallah. So the number's on the screen. You can see the number just here. And then, inshallah, you'll be able to call in within just a few minutes, okay? So let's carry on. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
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 Okay, so remember in this bit it's an'amta, no bounce. Sirata, get the saad pronounced with the kasra. It's a difficult one. You have to keep practicing. Remember, go to the program, go to the website, and then there's in the menu there is an item that says practice. If you go there, if you go to practice and then go to videos, you'll see all of the previous shows. if you want to get good at this, if you want to really make the best out of this program, you need to go watch the other videos and you need to practice, okay, if you're serious about correcting your Quran. And if you do that, it is actually possible to correct your Quran and improve your Quran just through this program, okay. I usually say you have to also do other things, but that will go a long way if you follow the videos. All right, let's now move on, inshallah. We will practice Fatiha a few more times. We won't stop there. Fatiha, I think I've said this to all of you before, brothers and sisters, that when I learnt Tajweed, I practiced Fatiha. We had to, with a lesson every day, 45 minutes in class and then 45-minute practice session at night. Okay, so that's how much Tajweed time we had to give. With all of that time, guess how long it took for us to complete the Fatiha?
3 months.
3 months. You guys know, it's not fair. He should have answered. But 3 months it took, 3 months. Yeah? 3 months. I don't know. Is that sinking? 3 months just Surah Fatiha. And this is our 4th program. So if you think that that's enough, think again, all right? Just listen to those recordings and go through them over and over again. Next week we'll go through the whole of the Fatiha together, and maybe I'll introduce a little bit of Surah Nas. So Tajweed is all about practice, and we've made it possible for you to practice by uploading the videos. Okay? Right. Let's move on to the letters, inshallah, very quickly, and then in between that, we'll allow you to call in. Okay, inshallah. As we discussed that, if you start calling in, we'll take your calls as well, and then we'll continue our discussion in between calls. Okay, let's do it like that, inshallah. So we left the discussion about letters on the letter Sin. Okay, on the letter Sin. So if you look at the screen, it says that the letter Sin is pronounced from between the tip of the tongue and the plates of the 2 top incisors. All right, incisors are the 2 teeth at the front. So the tip of the tongue and the plates of the 2 top incisors. So basically you've got to go and your tongue will be behind the top incisors, and a slight space is left between the tongue, slightly above, and a space is left between the tongue and the top incisors. Okay, so everybody try it. I mean, say as. As. So you'll notice that your tongue kind of hovers off. There's a slight distance between your tongue and the upper incisors, and it's kind of touching the lower incisors. Okay, are clear? So as. So that's the C. It's an easy letter to pronounce. Okay, so we don't have to worry too much about it. So we'll practice some words, inshallah. Before that, let's take a call. So let's see who's on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
What's your name?
Hassan Ali.
Oh, brother Hassan Ali. And how old are you?
10.
Welcome to the show. Do you want to read Fatiha to us, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to restrict you a little bit.
Okay.
I want you to read A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and then read from Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim. Have you been watching the show from the beginning?
Yeah.
Do you watch it every week?
Yeah, sometimes.
You got to watch it every week, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, you can catch up, right?
Yeah.
You can catch up by logging on to Maktab Online, www.maktabonline.org, and then there's a practice button, yeah?
Yeah.
You go there, then go to videos, and you can watch all of the previous programs and practice.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And because you should have been watching right from the beginning, I'm only going to let you read from Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim. Okay?
Okay.
Just so that we can get lots and lots of people calling in. Alright, go on. So, A'udhu Billah, Bismillah, then from Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim. Go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم
Right, you read the whole surah anyway. Anyway, look, a couple of things. You know, when you actually recite very nicely, by the way. MashaAllah, very good basic foundation. You recite at a good pace, nice and slow. So that's the good thing. Okay, keep practicing, and it will continue to improve. One thing, you know, right at the end of every verse, you say, "Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim," and then you say, "Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in." You kind of end it, and then you end it, right? So your mouth is like this. So when you say nasta'i, that's how it starts off. But then you go nasta'in, and then you open up your mouth, and the sound changes a little bit. So try to keep it the same all the way until the end. So Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Keep it steady, the same all the way until the end. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Don't say Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Okay? And it actually happens to quite a lot of people, especially when you're trying to stretch everything nicely, you end up doing that. So avoid that, okay? Otherwise, it's good. All right? Some of the nitty-gritty things I'm going to let it skip, because this is what stands out the most. So you work on that. Keep watching the program, and then I'll point out other things in the future, inshallah. Okay? Right, let's move on. So our makharij, so the letter sin, okay? So let's look at the sin being pronounced in different letters. If you go to the screen, look at this word. Ghasiqin.
Ghasiqin.
Yeah? So it's si. So that sound, okay? Move on. Sahun.
Sahun.
Okay. The most important reason why we have this example is it shows you how the letter is pronounced if you stretch it. Right? And the important thing here is that in the Arabic alphabet, all of the letters except for a few, when you stretch them, they're stretched with an empty mouth. So you don't say sahun, you say sahun. It's sa. Okay? So say it. Sahun.
Sahun.
Good. Alright? As opposed to, what's the wrong way to say it?
Sahun.
Yeah, sahun. Say sahun. It's not even meant to be neutral. So if you just said sahun, that's actually, it's not a major mistake, but it's not right. It's sa. It's supposed to be empty mouth. Okay? Alright. So let's look at the letter with a sukoon on it. Again, on the screen. Ta'amil miskin.
Ta'amil miskin.
So when you pronounce it like this, the sound carries on for a split second. So that s sound, the hissing sound, continues for a split second, and then you move on to the next letter. But you don't overstretch it. So you don't say miss. Right? It's just for a split second. So ta'amil miskin.
Ta'amil miskin.
And then if you double it, this is how it sounds. وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ.
وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ.
Okay, so you're doubling the same sound. وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ.
وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ.
Good. Alright, so before going on to the next letter, don't forget, I will be taking your calls now. So if you want to call in and you want to recite, inshallah, I'll take your calls as we have this discussion. And as I say that, somebody's calling in. Who's on the line? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Aisha, and I'm calling from Tottenham.
MashaAllah, all the way from Tottenham. I'll be somewhere in that area soon. Do you like the program?
I just found it today.
Oh no, so you've missed all the other programs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guess what? They're all on the internet. You can watch all of them and catch up.
Okay.
Do you know what you have to do? You have to go to www.maktabonline.org, then go to practice and go to videos, and you'll find all of the programs that we've had in the last 4 or 5 episodes, and you can practice all of them. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can catch up. But for now, what would you like to read to us? Fatiha, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you read from اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Okay.
So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, and then اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Okay.
Okay.
And then you can practice the rest of it when you watch the catch-up shows. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. Go on.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Okay, mashallah, mashallah. That was really impressive. Okay, whoever's teaching you, you need to go and give them a big thank you because they've taught you very well. All right.
Okay.
Well done, mashallah. But if you want a little bit of feedback, I'm going to be a bit nitpicky because your reading is so good. There aren't any big mistakes to pick on. So all you have to work on is, when you pronounce the heavy letters, the ones that are supposed to be pronounced full mouth. So in ihdina sirata, the ra, and any other full mouth letter, try to avoid movement of the lips. Okay? Now, as you practice, the idea is to try to completely cancel out your lips, so that if you pronounce it so well from your tongue that if you were to hold your lips, you could still pronounce it correctly. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just work on that. Okay? So ihdina sira, ra, that sound, that full mouth sound comes from your tongue. Your lips have nothing to do with it. Try not to move them at all. Okay?
Okay.
So they'll just move because your mouth is positioned in a particular way, but the sound of the letter, the full mouth sound, will just come from your tongue. Otherwise, brilliant. Makes me really... You've actually made my day. MashaAllah. Well done. Okay, let's move on. So, the next letter we have is the letter saad. Yeah? So, this letter, interestingly, comes from exactly the same place as the sin. So as you can see, it says from between the tip of the tongue and the plates of the two top incisors. So in between that, and it's slightly above the lower incisors. A slight space is left between the tongue and the top incisors, and that's exactly the same as the sin. So how do we end up with a difference? How do you end up with the sin being pronounced slightly differently from the saad? And that's the difference is because of something called sifat, which is quite complicated. The sifat is the most complicated discussion in tajweed, which we're not going to go into right now, okay? But if I can simply tell you, so when we were talking about ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim and sirata al-ladina and so on, over here what happens is, in sin, your tongue stays lowered in your mouth. So if you say si or sa, you'll notice that your tongue stays lowered, right? Yeah. But if you say sa, your tongue comes up. Yeah. You notice that? Yeah. Sa, your tongue comes up, and that's basically why. That's how the two are different. Sa and si. Okay, and that is that rising of the tongue is called isti'la. It's called isti'la. Isti'la in Arabic literally means rising. Okay, so basically your tongue rises. So in all of the letters that are pronounced full mouthed, actually what happens is your tongue rises. In what are known as the huruf musta'liya, okay, or the rising letters. Yeah, these are letters where the tongue rises. So things like letters like ghain, kha, sad, dad, ta, dha. Sad, dad, ta, dha, they're the heaviest ones. They have the most rising of the tongue. Okay, but also qaf. Okay, these letters are all letters in which the tongue rises. Okay, so sad is one of them. Let's look at some examples. Okay, remember you can call in inshallah to recite. I'll take your call as we discuss this. So let's look at this. This is one of those difficult ones where the sad already has a dhamma, it already has a pesh, so it's difficult to get that positioning of the tongue. Okay, so let's try this. So fi suduri,
fi suduri,
fi suduri,
fi suduri.
Okay, so I'm going to do it again, but listen very carefully to the sound that my tongue makes. Okay, fi suduri,
في صدوري.
Now, if that was a sin, I'd be saying fi suduri, su. But because it's a saad, I would be saying fi suduri, su. It sounds like there's this little flip of the tongue. There's a little flick of the tongue. It rises up and it kind of curls, and that creates the su sound. Su. Yeah? Got it? Alright, let's move on to the next one. So, if you stretch it, وَمَا صَاحِبُكُمْ.
وما صاحبكم.
Alright, again, everyone look at me now. وَمَا صَاحِبُكُمْ.
وما صاحبكم.
Okay, now, do you remember with seen, I said that if you stretch it, then it has to stretch empty mouth. The alif will be empty mouth. So وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ. With saad, it's the opposite. It'll be full mouth, meaning that if the letter before the alif, meaning before the stretch, if the letter is full mouth, then you will stretch it with your mouth in that same position. Do you understand? So the stretching will continue. So you'll say وَمَا, again, look at me. وَمَا صَاحِبُكُمْ.
وما صاحبكم.
So just for argument's sake, I'm going to stretch it even longer so that you all understand it, right? So it'll be that full mouth sound will continue. It'll carry on with the alif. So basically, the pronunciation of the alif, and because the alif is always stretches the letter before, doesn't it? It always stretches a fatha on the letter before. Like here, on the fatha is on the saad, yeah, and then the alif stretches that. So whatever that letter is, the alif will stretch accordingly. So if that letter is empty mouth, the alif will be empty mouth. If the letter is full mouth, the alif will be full mouth. Good. All right. Next example. سيصلى.
سيصلى.
This is a very good example because it puts the saad in the middle with an empty mouth letter before and an empty mouth letter after, and you have to learn to adjust. So you have to say, again, look at me, everyone, right? You say sayasla. So you go, ya is light, sad is heavy, it's full mouthed. Then the la is empty mouth again. So you have to go yes. You can't say yos. You can't say sayosla. You have to say sayasla.
سيصلى.
Good, perfect. That's exactly what you have to do. Sayasla.
سيصلى.
And of course, this example is from a common surah, isn't it? It's from Surah Lahab. You read it in Quran, right? We're gonna be practicing it soon as well. Sayasla.
سيصلى.
Good. And another common example. Allahu Samad.
الله الصمد.
Is that's not really the topic of our discussion, but you made me point it out. But it's Allah. Remember, the first letter is empty mouth and the lam is full mouth. So the empty bit stays empty and the full bit goes full when you get to it. Allahu Samad.
الله الصمد.
Good. All right. So again, what we want to do now, inshallah, is just focus on listening to your recitation. So if we can, inshallah, if the callers allow us, I'll try and listen to you guys as well. Okay? But otherwise, callers, call in, recite, and I'll inshallah try to give you feedback on your recitation. We have a caller on the line right now, actually. Let's see who's on the line. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? Assalamu alaikum. What's your name? Can you take your TV volume down so you can hear me through the phone? Turn down your TV volume.
Put it down.
I think we're going to lose you in a minute. You need to turn down your TV volume and speak to me on the phone. Okay? Hello, assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good, right. So, I want you to recite from Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, okay?
That's not me.
Who am I speaking to first? Who am I speaking to? What's your name?
Can't do it.
Hello, what's your name? Alright, we're going to have to lose that caller, unfortunately, because there was some confusion there. Don't know what happened. Alright, shall we give one of you guys a chance? Okay, let's have you calling in. So remember, the number's on the screen, 0208523411. Call in and read to me, okay, inshallah, and I'll give you some feedback and help you improve your recitation, okay? There is a caller, actually, and I'll come back to you guys. Alright? Who's on the line? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Very good makhraj of the ayn there. Alright, what's your name?
Ibrahim.
Oh, brother Ibrahim, excellent. How old are you?
8.
You're 8 years old. Excellent. Alright, so I want you to recite A'udhu billah bismillah and then from Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. Have you been following the program from the beginning? Or you just watched it today? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, don't forget you can see all of the previous programs on the website, alright?
Yeah.
You go to www.maktabonline.org, you go to practice, then videos, alright? And you can see all of the previous programs and catch up.
Alright.
So, A'udhu billah, bismillah, then from Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. Go on, start.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
MashaAllah, very good. If you're wondering why I'm holding my mobile, I have Arabic on it and I'm taking my notes on here. Alright? I'm not cheating and replying to my text messages. Alright. Brother Ibrahim. Excellent. Alright? Yeah, I don't know what it is about today. We're attracting all the really, really good reciters, MashaAllah. Okay? But you know what? There was the brother who recited before, who I also said had excellent recitation. And both of you have a slight tune-up, okay, thing which you basically, both of you need to focus on, which is your heavy letters. These heavy letters, right? So, in Ihdina Sirata, the Ra, try not to use your lips too much, okay? Try to make sure that your lips don't move, particularly, you know, motion of the lips. So, you know, when you say Ra, your mouth will be positioned like in the O position, right? That's fine. What I don't want is motion. Don't move. So don't say Ra like from a closed position to an open position. That motion is symbolic of the wow. That motion represents a wow makhraj, and that's what you have to avoid. So it should be sira. It's like your mouth is positioned in one place when you pronounce the Ra. Okay? There's no motion. Yeah? I know it's very nitpicky, but your recitation is excellent. That's why I'm putting this out. And also the saad, okay? So sira, try to do it without motion of your lips. Don't say swi. Sira, practice from your tongue. All right? Otherwise, another example of very, very good recitation. Okay, before ending, I'm going to give one of you guys a chance. Who wants to do it? Since you're new on the program, let's have you. Same verses. Okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Ameen. Good. An'amta, say it without the bounce.
An'amta.
Good. All right. And I'm going to end the program on this because I said that this was really, really difficult. I have to take a call, right? I said this was really, really difficult, but what I was trying to say was, you know, the dad. Try to pronounce it from the back. But when you pronounce it, the secret is when you pronounce it from the front, it's going to sound like a dal, or a da. If you pronounce it from the back, it's going to sound heavier because the sound has to travel from the back through the hollow of your mouth. It sounds deeper. All right? Da. Practice that. Let's take one last call. All right, inshallah. Let's see who's on the line. Assalamu alaikum. you still there? Assalamu alaikum. Where is my caller? Assalamu alaikum. Oh no, you just missed the opportunity to be the last caller. Alright, never mind. So, dad, alright? So let's try this. So say, walad, but try consciously to get the sound to come from the back of your tongue. Yeah? Try it.
Walad.
Okay, no movement of the lips. Walad, no movement of the lips. Walad, yeah? Just a positioning of, natural positioning of the mouth, no movement of the lips. So one more time. Walad.
Walad.
Moved. Walad.
Walad.
Better. Yeah? And the sound comes from deeper. You try it. Walad.
Waladhalleen.
From the back. Right from the back of the tongue.
Waladhalleen.
That was better. See, it sounded deeper. Because what happens is when the sound, so there's your tongue, right? If the sound is from here, then the sound comes out straight away. It doesn't sound deep. Yeah? But when the sound starts from here, it has to travel through your mouth, so it sounds deeper. Okay? You try it.
Waladhalleen.
It's not easy. Try it again.
Waladhalleen.
Okay. That sound's coming from the front, from the back. One more time.
Waladhalleen.
Okay. Needs practice. Yeah? Needs practice. Even if it means you have to put your face in front of a mirror and watch yourself pronouncing the letters. Okay? Because we used to be told to do this when we studied Tajweed. Watch yourself in the mirror, see if you're pronouncing it right. Yeah? The idea is that, you know, dad comes from the front of the tongue. If you can avoid the front of your tongue touching your front teeth, if you can avoid this, yeah, then you've got nowhere else to pronounce the letter from except the back. So, if you just let your tongue suspend there, don't let it touch, yeah, then you'll be forced to touch the back. Yeah? So, one more time, yeah? Waladhalleen.
Waladhalleen.
That was there. You went waladhalleen like that. It's at the back. Waladhalleen.
Waladhalleen.
Right, well, everybody keep practicing that. Okay? You have to keep practicing this particular thing, but more importantly as well, this is hard. You're going to have to keep practicing. What I said about ghayril maghdud, the ghayn is full-mouthed, the ghayn is full-mouthed, the dad is also full-mouthed. Make sure that when you say Surat al-ladhina an'amta, you don't bounce the noon. Yeah? An'amta. Okay? These are the new things that we practiced today. Next week, I'm going to let everybody recite the whole of the Fatiha. Okay? So we'll see if we can spend a little bit more time listening to yourselves recite. Okay? And we'll listen to you recite the whole of the Fatiha, inshallah. Yeah? MashaAllah. Good show. Everybody please watch regularly. If you want to progress, watch regularly. If today's the first time you've watched the program and you've enjoyed it, tell your friends and family to watch it, and you can catch up by going to www.maktabonline.org, and if you go to practice videos, you'll see all of the previous programs uploaded. Okay, so every Friday 5 o'clock inshallah ta'ala, and we'll see you at that time next week. Okay, jazakumullah khairan, and jazakumullah you guys for being with me today. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.